questions that have been asked via the direct message to me. Okay. So first of all, Caesar, are you there? Caesar, are you there?
I think he's having some technical issues with his chat. Give him a
That's
moment.
fine. That's fine. Snoop, are you there?
I'm here.
Excellent. Perfect. So Snoop, then we may as well start with you. Let's start from the top, right? So I'm just going to go through a few of the questions that I've been asked personally that I've been asked to pass over to you. Okay. One of the questions is the moon map that we have on the website. Will that be expanded? And what are the goals for phase 4 of Keanu?
Yes, the moon map will be expanded. It will always be expanded as time goes because, you know, there's new ideas coming every day. Some of them innovative and not done before. It's already in the works and it will be included in the moon map. It's not like we're going to stop at phase 4. The team and I is very motivated and we're ready to, you know, push Keanu for a long time forward. So it's not like the phase 4 is like the end of the development on Keanu. We will keep going for years. Cannot really talk about the stuff, the works, as you know. We don't want the word out about it as of yet, because when it's stuff like this, you want to keep it tight to your chest. We'll always get Keanu more utility in the real world. This is something we're also working on every single day, which will essentially also be on the moon map. You know, we've achieved a lot already and we'll achieve a lot more further down the road as well. So
is there anything specific that you've got in mind for the phase 4, or is there nothing specific as of yet in terms of for the phase 4 specifically?
Well, as I said, there is specific things for phase 4 for sure. But I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but I really shouldn't talk about it because it's some good stuff, and we don't want any other developers to listen in and, you know.
Okay. In terms of and I'm going to give a chance as well for all the community to have their particular questions answered as well, who are in the chat or have took their time out to be in the chat. So I will get to each of you in due course. I'm just reading out those questions that have been sent to me personally. Snoop, what's the realistic market cap you're aiming for Keanu? Is there anything specific that you're aiming for in terms of market cap?
Oh, well, you know, the sky is the limit. This is actually an interesting question because if you asked me this about a year ago, I would probably answer something way less, because at that time, like a year ago, nobody really knew about the absolute immense potential of meme tokens. There's no reason for us not to reach a market cap similar to the likes of Shiba and Kishu, and because they have basically nothing we can't do. Their development is rather basic, and we can certainly do the same amount of marketing, if not better, than them. So, I mean, a realistic goal would be $1 billion market cap for sure, at the absolute minimum. Probably surge a lot more, but we're treating this as a $1 billion company, and so that should be our minimum goal for sure.
Okay, excellent. Will it be possible to do any form of staking in future? I've been asked that question. So will it be possible to do staking? Is that something you're thinking about or looking into?
Yes, that is something we're thinking about. Staking can be an option. You get staking in the sense of our redistribution on every transaction for sure. We have not really discussed it deeply yet, but it is possible for staking for sure. We can, for instance, launch a farming token where you put your Keanu in a vault and you get rewarded in another token at every mining block. We've discussed this with other developers as well to potentially, join their platform. That was in talks with, for instance, Dog Park, and I've talked to several other developers that have plans for the future where we might be included, but nothing is set in stone yet. But yeah, staking is an option for sure.
Okay. Are you planning on burning any more tokens in the future? And and if you are, how would you go about doing this? And how do you expect that to affect the price if you are going to be doing this in future?
Well, we did have a 100% fair launch, and we did burn tokens to the black hole initially. It'll be difficult for sure to do manual burns at the current time, and also it'll be difficult in the future because of our fair launch. You see other meme tokens might have a chance to do this way more easily because they, for instance, have a team allocation or tokenomics that sets up for manual burns like this, which essentially means that these projects have 20% of the total supply in a wallet dedicated to manual burns, but that's something we don't have. We burn it all at the beginning. So that would mean that, we as the team with can burn our own tokens, our own investments. But we have not discussed this either because it's not, in our tokenomics, but also a possibility for sure.
Last question for you specifically. What's the current state or update of the security audit? I've been asked. Again, these questions all came from the community. So what's the current state of the security audit?
The security audit is already being checked out by Tech Rates. They are looking at this as we speak, and it will probably be published like before this week is over.
Okay.
So only a matter of a couple of days or so.
Excellent. Okay, thanks, Snoop. I'm going to move on slightly now to Shalom. Shalom, are you there?
Yes,
Shalom. Yeah, excellent. For those of you who don't know on the call, Shalom actually runs all of our marketing. So when individuals specifically ask in terms of when is this going to happen, when is that going to happen, why haven't we done this or why haven't we done that, Shalom, in fact, is in charge of or runs or heads that particular part of Keanu. So in terms of marketing strategies, etc., Shalom, some people have asked in the group in terms of how come marketing is, or how come we haven't approached an influencer, for example. So why at this moment in time haven't we approached another influencer, big name? Is that maybe something you can answer, or is that what would you say to that question?
Well, the way it works is with the influencer market and the influencer space in general is that a lot of people are just popping out of anywhere and everywhere just to, get in on a project or, start working with Keanu and stuff like that. However, with the marketing plan that we have in place and the different requirements that we have for influencers, not every single influencer is what we're looking for. We're looking for specific influencers that when we invest into these influencers from our side, is that we want to make sure that they're doing their job and they're doing what we want them to do for the community. And we want them to be a part of the community, right? However, when it comes to specific influencers, not all of them are so to say um, well versed in the crypto space, and that block, that obstacle that we have to overcome in order to explain to an influencer what we're all about and what we have to offer, what is the value that we have here with Keanu, is something that takes time. Now in the crypto space, I know, and I'm only learning every single day, that things move fast. There is a fast pace to everything. However, when it comes to the real life in business and the influencers that are out there, things work very, 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 way, 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 way slower than crypto. Now, to answer the question on why we didn't see it is only because these things take a little bit of time. I'm not saying it's going to take months, and I'm not saying it's going to take years. I've literally been here for a fairly short time, and we've gotten a lot of marketing done, whether it's paid advertising, billboards, social media accounts, making sure that people know who we are and what we're all about, and as well as in the marketing itself, we also have listings involved, so we have to take all that into account. um, but to answer the question, it's that it's not being done. It's in the process. We have a line of influencers that are ready and are 100% ready to come on. It's just all about agreement and what they are willing to do for us and what we are willing to do for them, in a sense of either compensation or um, somewhat of teaching them on how it works, and until they feel comfortable to be 100% with us.
Okay, excellent. One thing I can vouch for actually is the fact that I'm one of the individuals who runs the Twitter account, the official Twitter, and we have a lot of DMs from individuals who have million plus followers, and I always pass them over to Shalom. And now, what Shalom does very specifically, from what my understanding is, he's a very big believer in the return of investment that we get. We can throw 20,000, 30,000 pound into, or dollars or whatever it is, into something, but what we're getting in return is the key point. Are we getting a quick pump? Are we creating something for longevity? And I think that's a very difficult thing, because I'm always getting direct messages from major influencers that I always pass to Shalom. Now Shalom does have a pick of the litter in essence, for that. Shalom, another question that somebody's asked me is, in terms of film, is that something we're exploring, of using Keanu, in terms of film, or producing a film, or whatever it may be? Is that something we're exploring?
Um, well, it's definitely an idea that we are exploring. But like I said before, the real world works in a different pace, and in order to get at least even one toe through the threshold of the film industry, takes some time. I can say that I am in talks with a bunch of people in the industry. We are trying to work out something, in order to get our entire bodies inside the door of the film industry. It's just again, it just takes a little bit of time. Like I said, it doesn't take months, it doesn't take years, it just takes a few days to figure out between each other, on agreements and things like that. So whenever everything is finalized, you guys, the community, will be the first ones to know about it.
I know it's a very difficult question, but in terms of which everyone, not naturally, because I'm talking as a community member myself and as a volunteer. In
Right.
terms of, I know you probably may not be able to say, but in terms of an ETA or an expectation, not that it will happen, and I'm 100% firm believer in that. We can't take it at his word. But is there any form of, within X amount of weeks, months, or whatever it may be, something will happen? Is there anything that you can, any ballpark that you can give towards that?
Um, what I could say is like this. I could say by the end of July, we would have or probably even mid-July, we would have probably a really good update that's coming up. And as far as bigger updates, which that itself will be very big update, but as far as bigger updates on what's going on, either it's with the film industry or with the marketing itself, with the influencers. Um, well, with influencers, it will probably be in the next 2 weeks, I would say. But with let's say the film industry itself will take I would say sometime during the beginning of September, I would say, or the end of August.
But you've definitely got a roadmap towards that, yeah. And I'm assuming
Absolutely.
you're in the middle of negotiation through that. You're not just talking. You're actually negotiating things like contracts potentially or not. Or am I guessing wrong?
You are guessing absolutely correct.
Okay, excellent. That's good. That's good to know. Um, is there now? This is obviously an important question. With Keanu, is there any roadmap to the individual Keanu Reeves himself? Have you got something planned? Have you got a particular roadmap to him? And when do you think that? I mean, why haven't we approached him right now? That question.
Well, which one do you want me to answer first? Is
Do
there
we
a
have a
roadmap,
roadmap?
or why haven't we approached him?
Do we have a roadmap to him?
Do we have a roadmap to him? Absolutely.
Okay, and why haven't we approached him right now?
Well, I mean, the question itself is is something which is obvious because we want to make sure that we have a car, right? But when we have a phenomenal car, a very expensive car, but at the end of the day, we need the support, the gas, the right drivers to push that roadmap, to push that car forward to our finish line, to our goals. And right now we have a roadmap, but now we're working on gas. We're working on the right drivers, the right people to direct us to to actually reach him. It's not a 1, 2, 3 process, and it's not something that can happen tomorrow or the next day. It is something that takes time overall when it comes to our specific goals. And at the end of the day, the reason why it's taking time is not because we're not putting any time into it. It's on the contrary, because the more time we put into it, first of all, the less of the time it's going to take to actually reach our goal. And second, the more of the time that we put into it, the more we can make it happen. So all the things that are mentioned here on this chat right now in regards to marketing is either already done or in the process of making it happen. So all we need is really to be a little bit patient from a business point of view, because I know, like I said before, the crypto space works extremely fast, and we do not want to get caught up in the fast pace because we want to do it right. We want to do it in the correct way, in the way that will benefit everybody in this community. So when we're talking about these big goals and these big finish lines, we want to take every precaution, every step should be taken with a lot of consideration, and be very careful on what needs to be done and where and when.
Yeah. In terms of my understanding is right from the background is that you are looking to get things like contracts signed, whatever, but even talking about specific things that you've got in the pipeline could completely void it. And part of the contract is you're not actually allowed to speak about it. Is that correct?
Yes, with everybody there is absolutely an NDA, and there's we cannot disclose certain information because we have to respect and keep the let's say whoever it is that we're dealing with, influencers, investors, or so to say Keanu Reeves, but we have to respect them. We have to respect their name. We have to respect what they're doing. So everything, always falls under the NDA, agreement, only because of respect, mutual respect. This is not because we want to keep information from the community. On the contrary, we're the most transparent. We put out every update that we can when we come out with it. I would say, just to to put it in perspective, in the next either week or two, we would have a solid update on what's going on when it comes with influencers. We're working very hard to make it happen. We're pushing and pushing and pushing, but at the end of the day, we have to respect them as well, and we have to have that mutual respect in order to keep that relationship going for the longevity.
Excellent. I'm going to move on a little bit now. Thanks for that, Shalom. I'll call upon you, I think, in a little bit to stay on the line. I want to move on to an individual who I who I see as a big brother now. I respect him as an individual. I've talked to him many hours. Very, very sincere individual. And he's the project manager of our coin. And with these individuals, in fact, everyone that's talked, we're in safe hands, and that's something that I can personally vouch for as a community member, just knowing these on a different level. But Caesar, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Sam.
My guy. Okay, so a few questions for you, and you're gonna get the hard ones, mate. We ain't gonna let you off here. You're gonna get the hard ones. So look, one of the first ones is this. We always give you advice in terms of, well, say advice, ideas. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Are you even writing these things down? Like, what's going on? Tell me, what's your process? What's your process?
Yeah, so that's actually a pretty good question, right? Because the answer should make everybody really happy and really confident in what we do. So we do get flooded with ideas every day, right? Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are in the middle. We take them all in, we assess them, and the ones we think are viable, yes, we do write them down. So how do we do that, right? And this will give you a bit of insight into how we run the project. So as Snoop said, right, we act like we're running $1 billion company here, right? Because the only way to reach that goal is to act as if it's already real, right? So what does that mean? That means we've got a full project management software suite, and we use Basecamp. You can look it up. It's pretty popular. So every single plan, every single task, every single deadline, every date, every document, every contract, anything, any presentation gets stored in Basecamp, and the entire project and the entire company is run from Basecamp, right? So we've got a full professional project management suite in place. That was there, it's been in place for about 5 weeks now, and it's working extremely well. So everything does get written down, to answer your question. Some of the best ideas, in fact, have come from the community. So keep those coming, please, right? You know, you guys are coming up with stuff that we haven't thought of. When we see it and we're like, wait a minute, this is genius. All right, let's go make it happen. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Okay, so look, we've pushed for the donations in the wallet, and we've got the donations in the marketing wallet. Like, why are we not pushing for an exchange? What's going on?
Yeah, good question. So we, as you know, I put out a status update every kind of Saturday or Sunday, right? So I take some time out of my weekend, I sit down and I make sure that I write down everything that's going on, right? So that everybody is fully up to date on all of our plans, obviously with the exception of the stuff that's covered by NDAs, as Shalom mentioned earlier, right? There are certain things that we legally can't talk about or we will get sued, right? So those will not be in my updates, obviously. So exchanges, right? So in my last update, I said that exchange listings are on hold because the bigger exchanges require us to submit a legal document that simply states that Keanu, as a token, is not a regulated security. So this is a pretty standard legal document, but we still require one to be created for us in order to complete the exchange applications. So last Monday, so 4 days ago, we hired a law firm to create that document, and the ETA they gave me was 7 days. Now I'm expecting it to either land in my inbox tomorrow or Saturday. So once we get that document, we'll upload it to the exchange portals as per their requirements, and then we continue on with our listings.
Okay, are we in any rush to get any specific listings, or ones that kind of like are higher above the food chain than others in terms of listings?
Well, that's the thing, right? So there's an argument for, you know, the market is pretty, you know, quiet right now. Our exchange listing is the best use of our limited funds. You know, and there's pros and cons to that, right? So when we do get accepted to these exchanges, we'll come back to the community and we'll have those discussions, as we always do, in public, in a transparent manner, and we come to a consensus. Obviously, we don't have the funds to list on every exchange right now. That may change in the future. So we have to start doing them one by one, right? The donation wallet's public, everybody can see what's in it. The exchange listings and prices are public, so you guys can do the maths yourselves, right? And see what's possible with the money we have and what's not possible just quite yet.
What's the short-term and long-term roadmap? More short-term roadmap for the development team.
So, like as Shalom mentioned and Snoop mentioned, right, we work 7 days a week, right? I know some people don't believe that, but it's true. I talk to the other 3 devs more than I talk to some people in my own family, right? But that's a good thing, right? Because it means that we are constantly pushing things forward. So right now, we're trying to solve the exchange problem, which should be done by the weekend. We are finally going to do a full launch of the matrix swap once the audit lands. And as Steve mentioned, the audit is imminent. It was paid for last Saturday, Friday, I think. So we're expecting it to land and get uploaded to the website over the weekend. We'll also release the entire source code of the matrix swap. So everybody can log on to GitHub, look at the code, and come back with any comments, right? As always, we're transparent, we're open, we're honest, we don't have anything to hide. We'll publish as much documentation and code as we can as we go on. So there will also be a bit of marketing push behind the matrix launch. Again, you know, people talk about what utility does the token have. Right now, it's got a charity utility. Most transactions on the swap take a 0.2% charity contribution. And I think that's really important, you know, to us as a project and as a token, because it gives us some really interesting utility. And because charity is kind of so important to us, we've also appointed James today as the new head of charity, and you get to hear from him in a couple of minutes as well. So to answer your question, short term, it's the full matrix launch. It's the listings. It's stuff like the billboards. So we have billboards running, as you've seen. Shalom's team are running them all over the country. I posted instructions. If anybody in the community wants to run their own billboards, I've done it myself. You can do it for $1 a day at locations anywhere in the US, right? And some in Canada. So if you want to spend $1 a day, imagine if 10,000 people spent $1 a day, right, on 10,000 locations. We'd be everywhere. So we posted instructions, we posted artwork. You guys are, you know, completely free to take that and run with it. If you want to do some, you know, decentralized marketing. On the other side, Shalom's team will continue pushing billboards out, continue pushing Facebook ads, and continue pushing other marketing behind the Matrix launch. We're going to be working on listings. We're going to be working on merchandise. We're going to look into a mobile app. Somebody suggested that in the chat yesterday, I think. I thought that was a great idea. So again, you know, we look into it. What could we do with a mobile app? What would what would it look like? What would the function be? How much would it cost? So all of that's on the table. And we're doing some pretty interesting stuff around charity NFTs, which was suggested in the chat recently as well. So we expect them to drop probably within the next week, thereabouts. Again, it depends on artists and their timelines. And then the medium-term stuff, as Shalom mentioned, we are in discussions with people in all different industries looking for partnerships every day of the week. Some things are already locked and loaded, but legally, if we talk about them, we will get sued, so I cannot.
Okay, so things. Sorry, just cut you off. Things that already you said locked and loaded, so they're there, but you're just not allowed to talk about them. But it's all been signed, it's all been done. What deal's been done? Or are you saying that's what my understanding of locked and loaded?
So some deals have been done, but we have signed, legal documents that said if we talk about them or announce them or mention them, we will get sued. So obviously, there's mutual respect on both sides of the deal. We would never break that. And as Shalom mentioned, there are other deals that are in the closing stages, but that we can announce once they're done. So as he said, we are targeting kind of, mid-July, so maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Again, these are estimates when you're dealing with people in the real world, right? Sometimes reality gets in the way, people get busy, something slips. So keep those in mind as estimates. But as soon as they're signed and sealed, Shalom will come back and announce all of the details.
Okay. My understanding is to be more than a meme coin, we need some sort of utility, some sort of a use case. Is that something you guys are thinking about or even looking into? Or even maybe things like games, conferences, or merchant pay or whatever in terms of for the coin itself? I know you mentioned the 0.2% transaction, but beyond that, I'm talking about the longevity of the coin. Is this something you've thought about, or have you not thought about things like this yet?
Yeah, absolutely. So like everything's on the table, right? You can probably see our base camp, right? I write down almost everything that comes from the chat or comes from our heads. and we do a bit of an assessment on each idea and see what's doable, what's realistic, and what's unrealistic.
What's the base camp?
The project management software suite that I mentioned at the start.
Okay, the project management that you guys put the things in, yeah?
Yeah, so in terms of utility, I mean, look, games obviously are something that's huge. I think there's been a lot of discussion in the chat about getting Keanu into the gaming world. That's something we will absolutely look into and push as hard as we can. There's been ideas about using Keanu to buy movie tickets for, Matrix and John Wick films that are coming out shortly. Again, we are reaching out to movie theater owners and other avenues to try and make that a reality, because I think that would be really cool and we'd get a lot of publicity. I saw, I think it was Keanu announced some deal with shopping.io this afternoon around, that was kind of merchant pay or something. So we look into doing something similar as well, if that's something that the community thinks is a good idea. So like there's no limit, right? It's kind of where I'm going with this. So we're going to pursue every single avenue, right?
Yeah, excellent. Before I move on to James, I think you wanted to mention something.
Yeah, so it was basically that James is now our new head of charity, which, charity is very important to us. So we kind of figured that we should have somebody on the dev team who represents that, right? So, you can hear from him in a second, but just one last point from my side, right? Like, as Shalom mentioned, right, the crypto world moves, lightning fast, the real world a bit slower. But, we're negotiating and signing deals that will happen months and months from now, right? So that should give everybody who's listening and everybody in the community, absolute confidence that this team is going to stick around for a long term. Like, we wouldn't be putting our names on documents that are coming into effect 6 months from now if we didn't believe that we were going to be here 6 months from now, right? So we've done that, so you can take confidence in that. So even though something seems like it's slow, the flip side of that is, wait a minute, these guys are going to be around for years, right? So do take that into account as well.
Excellent. I think that's the key point, isn't it, in terms of the long-term thinking. I will come back to you again towards the end season for closing remarks. We're not going to be too long here. James, are you there?
Yeah.
Excellent, James. Congratulations on the new role. That was news to me, actually. I didn't know that.
Thanks,
for those of you who don't know, James, it's the first time I'm introducing him here. As an individual who I'm probably one of the closest to James in terms of in the admin team anyway. He's a very, very, very sincere individual. I hope you don't mind me saying this, James.
No.
But he's the type of individual who, if somebody's going through, if somebody's got rugged or somebody's got scammed or whatever, he's the type of individual who would go out of his way to ensure that they get a refund or whatever it may be. An individual who genuinely puts his money where his mouth is, and we've had extensive chats about how we genuinely believe Keanu can change the charity industry. Even we had hours worth of chats of it. So I think he's the perfect person to be running this arm of the dev team is charity, and it goes to show that if one arm of the dev team is specifically charity, this is where we're going towards. This is what we want to do in the name of obviously Keanu. So James, so congratulations for the new role. I think it's thoroughly deserved and in good hands. I know you were very integral in terms of the matrix that we've got. The fork of Uniswap, in essence, the matrix, the swap system that we've got. This is my question, actually. This is something I just want the community to know. How long, you personally, when we developed it, or when the developer wrote the code, I think there was a period of time that you were testing it. How long was that period of time? I just want people to know the effort that you put into this matrix swap. How long was that period of time when the developer developed it and you were actually testing it? How long did you test it for?
Well, we was testing it all day, probably like 12 hours, just working through any problems that came up and then finding solutions and ways around it.
Have you got any plans of expanding it?
So obviously once the audit is done, we can really start to push the matrix swap and we can shill it everywhere. We can just sort of push it out there and get everyone to use it, because obviously the more people that are using it, the more money that's going to be coming into our charity wallet. But like looking into the future, there's the possibility we could create another matrix that wasn't forked from Uniswap. So we could have our own liquidity pools on there. And then rather than like 0.3% going to Uniswap liquidity providers, we could send it all straight to our charity wallet. So maybe once we do become a lot bigger, there's potential that other tokens will come and launch with us, and then have their liquidity pools with the Matrix rather than on Uniswap. And obviously all the funds will be going to charity. So that's one thing that we could do. But obviously there's lots of options, but yeah, we are thinking about them and the ways that we're going to move forward in the future.
So are you in charge of that particular arm in terms of the matrix and the charity element? Obviously you're in charge of the charity element, but the matrix, the swaps, etc. You're the individual for that, because I know you deal heavily with the exchanges, because every exchange that I get DM towards me, I just send them straight to you. So
yeah,
that's you work with the exchanges, right?
Yeah. So anything that you get, you send to me, and then I talk to them. But obviously, we've only got a limited amount of money at the moment, so we can't just go and list on 10 exchanges. We sort of need to hear all the options and then decide which one's the best option for us.
Just tracking back 1 second, Caesar, I've got a question, and it's a question that I just thought of. Is if we've got a limited amount of money, then how is it possible that have you got a plan to get more money in terms of like being able to list on more exchanges, etc.? Is there a plan in place to be able to expand our funds? Caesar,
yes,
sorry.
There is a plan in place to expand our funds, but that's all I can say.
Okay, that's enough. Sorry, James, back to you, mate. One more question from the from the DMs that I've been receiving is it says here, are we going to use the 3D matrix background? I think it's very cool. I'm reading it verbatim, by the way. So is that something we're going to be doing? We're going to make it look a bit different or something?
Well, yeah, that's definitely possible, and that's like an idea that I actually came up with myself before we put it into motion. But some of the team members did think it would be quite distracting if sort of all the numbers and stuff were moving down the screen. But yeah, if it's something that the community really wants, then we could definitely look into it, maybe get it made, and then see what you think. But we did have some feedback, obviously, on the Matrix that it was taking too long to load and stuff on some people's browsers. So we did think that if we added that in, then we might have more problems where that's concerned. But yeah, we can definitely look at it, get it created, and then see if it's an issue or not. Okay,
excellent. So I just want to track back now. That's it for the questions that have been a direct message basically towards me. I just want to track back to any of the dev team. Do you guys have anything specific to say? So I'll start with Snoop. Snoop, do you have anything specific that you want to say that we haven't covered yet, that you feel is important to say?
Yes, I would actually like to talk a little bit about the market these days, because obviously the market has been drawing out in reality like a week after we launched Keanu. So we've been kind of unlucky with the market conditions a long time, and it's been showing. I mean, I think if the market conditions held up like the week after our launch, we would probably expand our goals to even more than $1 billion market cap, but go way further up. Also, I want to talk about market cycles, which I find really interesting. I wanted to go back a while. For a long time, there's really only been one meme token in existence in this crypto market, which is Doge. There was never even a category called memes. Doge was the only one until about August 2020, which is 10 months ago, when Shiba Inu launched and called themselves the Doge Killer. I remember seeing Shiba, buying Shiba as one of the first people, just for a laugh, and selling it soon after for just some quick profits. Shortly after Shiba launched, also Akita Inu and another token called FEG launched as well, pulling some really good numbers, and were the first projects to the meme. They did well when they launched as well, but right after they tanked. I mean, which essentially means that they went a lot down and they stayed there for months. That was kind of the first meme cycle we ever faced in this in the crypto market, really. Months after, there was another meme cycle coming after Elon Musk started promoting tokens such as Doge and Shiba. They went crazy for a long time. Shiba became one of the absolute top tokens in the market, showing everybody that, you know, meme tokens is here to stay. In this very meme token, Kishu also launched and did okay. Only okay. During these 2 cycles, the market in general looked very strong as well. Everyone was positive on crypto in general. Bitcoin did good. Big cap altcoins did well. So everyone was very positive around it all. And just a week or 2 after, another meme cycle started, because after the second one, yes, the market looked good, but the meme tokens started tanking again. Kishu with it, but they were lucky enough that after just a week or 2, another meme cycle started, because Elon Musk just didn't stop promoting Doge. The market looked good. Everyone saw the potential in meme tokens, and Shiba and especially Kishu did extremely well. This was just now, as you guys remember, because this was also the time where we, Keanu, launched. As you also remember, we did extremely well this time. And then, you know, as I said, after just a week, all the memes started tanking hard, and the market have been extremely bad since. In general, not just the meme tokens, but in general. But this have happened before. That's what I'm trying to say. The meme tokens usually tank, and then all of a sudden they start surging again, which just starts another cycle. And we've only had one meme cycle compared to all the other meme tokens, which is, to me, very important to understand. We don't know when the next meme cycle comes. It was a long time between the first and the second one, and only a few days between the second and the third one. So we don't really know. The only thing I know for sure is that, you know, the tradition will continue. And whenever the next meme cycle comes, we'll be there as one of the strongest meme tokens in the market, one with the most upside. We've already established a name for ourselves. We have superior tokenomics in terms of our redistribution or black hole. We have the best distribution between holders in every single meme tokens, which can be seen in the moon map sheet. I mean, all the other meme tokens have whales with about 30-40% of the supply, which, I mean, they can essentially tank the price and just destroy the project anytime they want. We don't have that. We have a perfect distribution. That being said, you know, I'm just so looking forward to whenever the market picks up again, and you know, we can roll out all our plans accordingly and just put on our DRS. If anyone follows Formula One, just put on the big speed and just, you know, just overtake everybody. That's the dream. We're not gonna stop. We're just be here patiently and just, yeah, smash it. That's the dream.
We should have ended with you, Snoop. It's hard to top that. Caesar, you got anything to say? Just before I open the floor to questions.
Nothing to add, really. I think Snoop kind of summed it up nicely. I mean, look, the main thing I wanted to get across today, and especially, you know, to everyone listening, is that this is a long-term thing. We are here for the long run. And we want to be, and we think we're doing a good job of being the most open, honest, transparent, and committed team in the crypto world, right? And we get better and better at it. But we're not thinking about what we're doing tomorrow. We're thinking about what we're doing tomorrow and what we're doing, this day 6 months from now. So we are here for the long run. So I want you to kind of take confidence in that, right? That we are sticking around. But beyond that, I'd love to open up the floor and take some live questions.
Before we just open it up, right? Is Shalom, do you want to say anything specifically that no one else has mentioned before we open it up?
Nope, nothing in particular.
Okay, James.
Yeah, I just want to say that, yeah, but obviously at the moment the chart's not looking great. But when the next mean season does come around, we'll be just like flying up 1, 2, probably 3 billion market cap. So at the moment, what we want to do is try and build out the best way we can, so that when it comes around, there'll be more money going into our charity wallet. So yeah, the NFTs that we'll have come in, and obviously the matrix swap when the audit's done. Just yeah, if we build out the best utility now that we can, when that mean season comes around, that we can achieve our goal and yeah, give as much to charity as we can, really.
Okay, excellent. I just got asked a question now in direct message. Have you guys got any plans of putting the Keanu on the app? Sorry, the Matrix on the app.
I think so. Yeah. It's something that we're actually trying to map out. Like, we're trying to find a strategy for it. A lot of it is involved with marketing and overlaps with the marketing aspect of things. But when it comes to making it into an app, I mean, it's also the development side of it and how we want it to look, and how, from the community's point of view, it should be user friendly and it shouldn't be that confusing. But definitely to, make Keanu as a whole into an app is something that we're considering from a marketing standpoint.
Okay, excellent. I mean, this may work against me, but well, let me check to see if I can do this. Well, if there's any particular person who's got a question, if you can potentially raise your hand so I can unmute you. Like I said, this is a Ask Me Anything, and it will only make sense if you want to ask any of the devs anything specific. I'm only going to do this for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on if anyone has a question. So if you do have a question, if you can possibly raise your hand, and I will unmute you. And I'll give about 30 seconds for people to raise their hand. So if anyone's got any question, please raise your hand, and I'll unmute. Okay, Crystal, can you speak? So I had one person raising the hand, but I think she's just gone.
Oh no, I'm here. I'm sorry,
Okay.
it muted me
Sorry, no problem.
automatically.
Yes, Crystal.
Oh, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity for the QA, and I've been listening and really excited. My one question more pertains to charity, because me coming from the outside, I'm relatively new to crypto, but also having a passion for charity, and also, kind of what y'all are behind. Keanu is a big, donator. What are your plans both for international and national charity? Do y'all have charities in mind that you're targeting? Or are you kind of just waiting to see how the community is going to work with the crypto? Or basically, I'm looking to see what y'all have as a vision for the charity. Does it pertain to stuff that Keanu's involved in, or just you personally, or just us as a community?
Yeah, so I can jump in there, Crystal, and thanks for joining us tonight or today or whatever time it is for you. We do appreciate you guys taking the time to come on here as well. So we made our first charity donation last week to Hope for Paws. It's a dog rescue shelter. I think they're based in Los Angeles. And that charity was chosen by the community. So we put it to a simple vote. We shortlisted, I think, 4 or 5, and Hope for Paws won out. So we sent them, it was just over $500 last week. So the next part of your question then is, okay, what happens from now on, right? So the charity wallet is increasing every day, right? Because of the matrix swap, which is fantastic. That's exactly what we want to do. We do take inspiration from Keanu Reeves himself. So that's very important to us. When we start selling NFTs, half of those go into the charity wallet. And we're also launching charity specific NFTs where 100% of those proceeds would go to specific charities. But back to the wallet for a second. So we have been discussing this over the last couple of days, and I'll ask James to jump in here as well in a second. But the current thinking is that, look, we leave the charity wallet build up until it reaches a fairly substantial amount. We continue to make smaller donations to local charities, but what I would want to happen eventually in the end game for me and the charity wallet is that we'd reach out to Keanu Reeves and ask him what charities he wants us to support, because we all know he gives a lot of money to charities, but because he's so secretive about it, we're not quite sure which ones. So we have an idea from various sources where he donates, but for me, like the ultimate thing would be for Keanu to come on board with us and help manage that charity wallet. I think that would be fantastic. James, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, well, I just sort of had the idea that maybe we could start taking donations in Keanu into the charity wallet, and we would only donate that when Keanu himself came to us and told us where he wanted us to donate it. So to start with anyway, I was going to, at some point in the next week, do like a Keanu matching program. So I would say any donations up to 25 trillion tokens, I'll match that and donate the same into the charity wallet, just to get us off really and start us going.
Kristen, is that okay for you, or is that sufficient, or?
No, that's wonderful. I really, I think, I know a little bit from an HR, human resources background in charity and business. And I just think, one, it's a great marketing tool. It helps gets us off the map. But the second is really, I don't know, anybody like me who's jumping in, who just sees that vision that this is the token that's going to donate. I don't know, it's profound, and not only is marketing, but it has a good core intrinsic value that other coins can't offer. So I'm excited by it, and I want to see this explode, not only for my own benefit, but for that intrinsic benefit that's hard to quantify.
Thank you, Crystal. To be fair, we need enthusiastic individuals like yourself. But I just want to quickly pick up on one thing that Caesar said, is that we're looking to make 100% donation for NFTs, certain NFTs, that all the profits are going to go towards charity. I don't know whether that's been done before, but it shows the sincerity of these individuals, where profits from certain NFTs are, and obviously we'll make this clear on the chat, that 100% are going to be going to the charities. Is there anyone else who's got any other questions? Anyone else who's got any other questions who wants to speak or ask?
JT has his hand up.
Is that his hand up? Okay, then. Yeah, JT. I don't know whether his hand was up or he was just dancing. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, anyone else got any questions? I did have. Okay. AJ wants to speak. Yeah. Okay, AJ, you got the floor.
Well, hey guys, I'm not much of a public speaker, so I'll try to do my best here. First and foremost, thank you for the amazing project with potential, with a fantastic community, and just hearing you guys talk, you're really passionate about what you do. So from all of us, thank you for that first.
I appreciate that.
I have brought this up a couple of times before, and I'm not sure if it's something that is feasible or reasonable or not, but it seems like you can never put a price on free marketing. It's almost like a checklist that a lot of folks go down in the crypto market, that they have to have an influencer, or they have to have billboards, or this or that. And I've mentioned before that if you were to potentially take a few volunteers in major market spaces such as Boston, LA, London, Paris, Miami, etc., and they were to volunteer their vehicle to be wrapped in a Keanu Inu wrap, they would be passing thousands of vehicles a day. The only thing that you'd have to do on your end would be to fund the wrap out of the marketing wallet, and these people would be vetted on based where they live. And it would be a voluntary basis. What do you think about something like that, in which somebody would be driving, an Uber Eats driver, for example, who would be out all day and you'd be getting that constant marketing and high visibility?
One of the ideas that actually came up was similar to your idea, but a little bit different, was to take taxis. I don't know where you're based out of, but all the major cities have like their own taxi services and stuff like that. So, for example, in New York City, where you have actually you have taxis in the city and in Manhattan, and then you have taxis in the other boroughs, also different colors, but they do carry advertisements. And somebody actually did come up, with that idea. That idea is being explored as we speak. I myself, is overlooking that idea. I was talking about it actually yesterday with someone, and that is something that we're definitely trying to implement as soon as possible into the for the community. I don't have a timeline on it because there's nothing concrete yet. So I don't want to give it a timeline. Give some broken promises over here. This is not what we're about. We're here to deliver. We're here to bring you guys results. So that is an idea that is definitely being talked about and being sorted out. So yeah, I appreciate your input on that. And when it comes to Uber and it comes to like all these like companies, there are just a bunch of red tape that needs to we need to like rip off in order to make it happen. The funding for it as well is something that I wouldn't say we're struggling with, but something that we would like to get as much help as we can, either from the community or outsourcing the different funds for these ideas. But definitely, your idea that you're bringing up is being talked about, and we're trying to implement it as soon as possible.
I think that's amazing. So thank you. At least the fact that it's in your mind really is reassuring. I was under the impression that the Uber Eats folks and, the pizza delivery guys, or even just someone who gets stuck in traffic on a long commute, don't they own their own vehicle? And would there be any red tape involved? I mean, our colors for our meme coin are just so bright. And, after a week of driving in one of these places, the kids in their 20s are going to be looking at it and go, yo, there goes the Keanu car. That's sick. You know what I mean? It's just that constant reassurance. And what is that? What does that mean? Even when it's parked, it's advertising. So that's kind of where I was coming from.
So what you're saying is something very individual, but we're also trying to look at it from a larger scale, meaning we're trying to tackle, let's say if it goes down to vehicles, to the number of vehicles, we're going to try to tackle the most amount of vehicles that we can possibly target as a advertising standpoint for Keanu, and more than just going to individual owners of their vehicle, because it would really take a lot of our a lot out of our time to do this, because as I mentioned earlier, we do have other strategies and other channels that we're navigating through in order to advertise Keanu on a very high level, on a very large scale. So I would go about it like I would go about any marketing strategy, any marketing channel. I would go about it on a very large scale where we can get the worth for our dollar, and we can actually get more impressions and more people, more eyes looking our way, for like you said, the teenagers and other new people to the crypto space, as well as you guys. You guys are very vital to this project as well. From a marketing standpoint, buzz marketing has always been something that really gets the word out there. If you're not familiar with buzz marketing, but buzz marketing can literally mean like you tell your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, whoever, your friend, your girlfriend, your wife, whoever it is, you tell them about Keanu, you're already doing the buzz marketing. You're already doing your part. So, you know, at the end of the day, all these ideas and these great ideas are accounted for. It's just we are trying to go on a larger scale over here. It might need a little bit more funding, but at the end of the day, we want to hit it big. We want to hit it strong. We want to come with a storm, and this is our goal.
Excellent. Thanks. Thanks for that, Shalom. Is that okay, AJ? Does that answer your question? That they're looking into it? Are you
Yes,
content with that?
Yes,
Excellent.
I am very content. Thank you guys for your time today and for this great project.
An individual from day one, I can respect what you do, AJ. Thank you very much. Ken, I'm only going to take one or two more questions, then we'll call it a day. Otherwise, we'll be here all night.
Can I
Ken,
chime in?
you got the mic.
If you don't mind, oh, you got him.
Yeah. All right, go on, JT. Go on.
All right,
Sorry,
yeah.
JT. Go on.
You accepted me before, but something glitched out, but I got it to work.
That's fine. Go for it.
Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate what you guys are doing. First of all, like I think you guys are very like coherent and know what you're doing, you know, and you move pretty quick. And I appreciate the determinants, you know, I really do. But with that aside, I wanted to say like I was just thinking in terms of like events and stuff like that, like how significant that could be. Like just like I was just painting it out in my head. Like say like when you have your first donation or whatever, you know, you get like the big check, you have an event at like a dog place or whatever, you know, you maybe have a thing outside where kids can come pet the dogs, you know, put up some banners, you know what I'm saying? Like make a big event, put it on social media, people tag people, you know, just make it very like community based, like take a lot of pictures, you know, so people have like a real like tangible appreciation for it as well, you know, and get to have like a cool experience. You know what I'm saying?
So funny that you say that actually. When it comes to events, well, you're gonna have to make an event for something, for a cause, for a celebration, for something that happened, and you guys wanna you wanna celebrate it. You wanna throw a party, you wanna throw a dinner, you wanna throw a charity event, whatever it is. You always have to have something backing it, because people are not just gonna come and just attend the party. Without a good theme to it, right? Like if it's like it's all about the marketing, it's all about the advertising. Now,
Yeah, for
with
sure.
the influencers, yeah. So with the influencers that we want to bring aboard, part of the ideas that Keanu and the team over here has is that we do want to make events, we do want to make parties in honor of Keanu Hinu, that we're making progress and we're going places, but in the same time we need those influencers, excuse me, we need those influencers to really be 100% with us and back us up like completely, because like I said, we need the backup, not only from the influencers but also from the community as well. So I'm pretty confident in our influencers that we're bringing aboard, but in the same time, when it comes to these events, a lot of strategic planning and logistics need to go into it, and picking out the right theme and picking out the right people to attend, and the right how you say sponsorships to sponsor these events is something that needs to be planned out. It's something that is more down the line, I would say, but it definitely contributes, and I appreciate you bringing it up, JT.
Yeah,
Okay, JT.
Thank you for that input. I really appreciate that. I think that would benefit a lot. We would really benefit from that.
Thank you for your efforts as well. I'll be seeing you in the group as well, JT. Thank you for your efforts, man. We need people like you.
Thank you, man.
To continue on with this coin. Thank you for that. KN, you had the floor. Are you still there?
Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, guys. Thank you. First off, thanks everyone I'll thank the admin team for all your efforts. I really appreciate it. I'm sure we all do. But I just had a kind of similar to what JD was talking about and similar to what Salam was talking about. But would you consider actually sponsoring someone like what would they call the Pause? I forget the name of them. The group who gave the charity. Yes, sorry, because I actually had heard about them even over here in Ireland, watching videos of them rescuing dogs. Would it not be a good idea to sponsor them instead of just sponsor them and give them charity, so they would actually further our cause by you know, at the end of their videos going, oh, we're sponsored by Keanu Inu. It's just.
Repeat the question again.
Hey guys, I think I might be able to answer that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, we reached out to Hope for Pause. I made 3 phone calls myself, and it turns out they're kind of they've got a big presence in the Los Angeles area, which gives them a lot of credibility. But when you look at their nationwide affiliates, it turns out they're a little bit smaller than what we're shooting for. They're a good charity. We're hoping for the best from them, but at the same time, we're going to shoot a little bit higher. We're going to get a little bit more recognition, and we're going to go for a little bit bigger of a charitable contribution going forward. We're still going to help them, but they are something of a local commodity. So we're going to slowly move on from them to something, charities that are bigger and more worldwide, and that can be adopted a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I think you mentioned specifically. He mentioned specifically about the sponsoring. That's an interesting point, actually. If you can probably write that down there, Shalom, in terms of as opposed to donating, which can obviously be potentially the point, is to potentially sponsor something, sponsor an event or whatever it may be for these charities, so we have a bit more marketing involved in it and it's a bit more open in that sense. Yeah, I get your point, Ken.
It's kind of like if they're running around wearing Keanu Inu t-shirts while rescuing dogs, it would look good for us.
So
James, you're going to jump in?
It's all about relationship, and I'm gonna give what's his name, James, the floor very soon to talk about this. But it's all about relationship. You guys should know this as well. The relationships that we keep up with you know, all the people that we deal with, whether it's investor, a sponsor, or influencer, the relationships is what keeps this ship going. So, you know, it's all about you know, keeping up the report and keeping up with all that, which we have been doing very, very well. I can assure you that. I'm very confident in the relationships that we have with all these different individuals. But it's something which comes with time when we develop the kind of transparent relationship that we are trying to, you know, keep up with Keanu and with them.
James?
Yeah, I was just going to say, with regards to the charity, well, obviously there's not that much money going in there at the moment, but as we grow, obviously that's going to be increasing all the time. But with regards to sponsoring different charities, I thought maybe we could sort of sponsor one charity per month, or maybe one charity every 2 months, and then that would give them the chance to promote the partnership too and get our name out there, and then we could switch to another one, and then they could promote us, and then we just keep moving forward like that. But obviously, just ideas at the moment.
Ken, does that answer your question?
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you for the question. I'm probably going to take one more, and then we're going to call it a day. Does anyone have anything else? I'll give you about 10, 20 seconds. Anyone got their hand up?
Now's your chance.
10 seconds. Now's your chance, yes. Having said that, now that I said that, now's your chance. These individuals, these dev team are always open to, you know, for that communication. You can private message any single one of them, and they're available. Myself, you can private message me, and I'll make sure that you know, to get the answer. But just before we quickly wrap up, right? Just quickly, what I want to end with is I want to specifically recognize the community execs and the admin team on the group. Sometimes they get a lot of the FUD from community members or whatever it may be, and they volunteer just like every single other person. Caesar, how much do you get paid?
$0.00.
Excellent. Okay, I just want to make that clear. So the project manager doesn't. If the project manager doesn't get paid anything, neither does anyone else, and this is the way that it works. We're community members just like you guys, but we are volunteers, but we volunteer a little bit harder. And this is the point. Is I just want to thank all the community execs and the admins specifically on the group that keep the group alive, and even more so, I want to thank the community, because without the community, we wouldn't be where we are. I think the reason that we are where we are is obviously these devs, these four or five specific individuals who are spearheading everything, are really taking us to new heights, and they're the direction. But without the force behind them, which is the community, which is all of you, we wouldn't be anywhere. So we really want to thank every single person in the chat and all the community for really believing in the dev team. And like I said, this chat is all about transparency, being very, very clear with what our aims are. If some of you picked up on it, you know, there was some golden nuggets within this particular chat. A few weeks time, maybe something's going to happen. Contracts have already been signed with things that they can't be talked about that are definitely going to happen. This is the long game type of thing. They will implement certain things when it comes to exchanges, etc. When the time is right, when the market turns a little bit, but everything is in hand. And I just want to make that absolutely clear and really, really thank every single one of you, especially the dev team and the admins and those that are strong within the community, that really make this coin what it is. So so that's enough for now. This call is recorded for quality assurance purposes. No, it's not. It's recorded so we can look back at it and make notes and send that out to you guys as well. And thank you guys. And like I said, it doesn't just stop here. We're very transparent with what we do. Please message us at any time with any questions that you have. And what I would say is this, guys, if you do have any specific things that could be seen as negative, especially on the group, sometimes you need to think it may be best to ask privately first. If you don't get an adequate response, then that's fine for whatever you want on the group. But being negative on the group specifically is only going to affect your own investment. And sometimes it may just be misunderstanding. So please message privately whenever you can if there's something negative or there's a specific question that could be perceived as negative. Because when you put money into a particular coin, especially some people put their life savings into it, you can imagine they're going to be emotional. And that's all I've got to say. And I'm going to end on Caesar. Have you got anything to say at all?
No, just thanks to everybody who showed up. I know we've all got lives and stuff, so I appreciate you attending. If you missed it and you're listening to the recording and you still have questions, just reach out to me or any of the dev team and we'll answer you as honestly as we can. Thank you to Sam for moderating. You do a fantastic job at these things. And, you know, I think we should, you know, if people agree, we could make this a monthly event if that suits. If you're up for it, Sam, because you've done most of the work on this, to be fair.
I'm afraid. We got one more question before we leave. Treston. Let me unmute to Treston. This is the last question, please. Treston, you got the mic. Treston? No?
My
Okay.
bad. I think I
Sorry.
was muted. I don't got any question. I just wanted to say thank you guys to the dev team and everybody working hard on this. I was an early investor in a lot of these coins, and I believe in this one, and I love what you guys are doing. So I just wanted to come on here before you guys end it and just say thank you and you know, keep doing what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Excellent. Charlotte, thank you very much for that. That these small things mean a lot, to be honest with you, that the community recognize that this dev team are working around the clock. Snoop, have you got any last words before we end the call right now?
No, really, Sam. I don't have anything to say, but thank you for coming into the AM. And yeah, for sure, I too want to do this more often. It's been great fun, and you know, it's good for everyone to be a part of this of an AMA more often. So we should do this on a monthly or weekly basis, depending on what you're up to.
Thank you very much, guys, for coming. I'm going to end the chat there, and I really appreciate time. Okay, thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.